This is you. Every time you go to the toilet, you bring your phone. You're walking somewhere, you're listening to music. When you're eating, you're watching something on the TV or on your phone. You're always watching something. You're always busy, and that's the problem. And it's the reason why you're not improving as quickly as you want to. Because you never let your mind think. You're never bored. And why would you say that being bored is a good thing? Well, being bored is when your mind actually thinks and when it actually comes up with ideas. And when you're doing stuff and your mind always wanders into thought, that's your mind telling you that it wants to think about something. And you keep watching and you keep being busy. And that makes you even less present and even less able to become successful because you never let yourself think. Like when you're constantly mind wandering into thought when you're doing something, that's your mind telling you, I really want to think about something, and you're not letting your mind think about it because you're either watching something, going to school, or you're sleeping. You're always keeping yourself busy, and that's your problem because all of the creativity that you have, it stems from your mind thinking, and it only gets to think when you're bored, when you don't have anything to do, when you're not stimulating with yourself with music or TikTok or whatever you're stimulating yourself with. Whenever you're not doing anything, where you're just walking around in nature, or you're sitting in your room staring into your wall, or just, doing basically nothing, just being there. That's what will get you successful. That's what will give you the idea, the realizations, the ideas and how you can improve, how you can learn from your mistakes, and how you can actually achieve success. By being busy all the time, you limit yourself to not being able to stay alone with your own thoughts for a bit of time because you're used to having something else to occupy you. You're getting bombarded with other people's ideas and their vision and their values, and you're never thinking of your own. So you can't sit alone and think and let your mind think because you're scared what will happen because you've never tried it before. You've been overstimulating your brain so much that you can't literally even sit and think for yourself. Isaac Newton, who discovered gravity, he literally discovered it while being bored. He was sitting in his garden and an apple fell on his head, and he started thinking, how does that work? Why is that? And then he started to work on the theory about gravity, and then he realized that there's something called gravity. Think about that. Gravity was discovered through boredom. Like when I'm just sitting there, it might be boring, and that's the idea. It has to be boring, but then your mind will start to think. It will start to come up with new ideas, solutions. It's when you actually get the most valuable insight from your own self, and you won't get that when you're constantly watching some self-improvement videos and you're listening to music on whatever or scrolling, because watching the self-improvement video isn't what's going to get you successful. But sitting there alone thinking, finding out your own way and actually figuring out how you're going to do something, that's what's going to get you successful. Because if you're never thinking your own ways and you're never doing what you have come up with, then you're probably not going to have as much success because you don't use your own ideas. You don't even have your own ideas. You just do whatever somebody on the internet told you. And that's a big problem. Because now you can't even think for yourself. How are you going to create a business when you have never thought alone? When they say to you, oh, now you have to find out who you want to sell to. And the guy in the video isn't going to tell you should sell to these people. What are you going to do? You've never thought alone. You never sat there and thought. So how are you going to do it? See, that's your problem. You can't get successful if you're not bored. As I said, like Isaac Newton, who's like everybody knows gravity, right? Some of the biggest things that have been happening, these successful people, they're bored. Like, there is a CEO, I can't remember who it is, but I think it's the guy from Microsoft. He has thinking weeks every single year. It's a minimum of 2 weeks where he goes to just a little house they have. There's no internet, there's no nothing. It's just him, books, and he has his own thoughts, and that's when he's come up with the greatest solutions for the company actually. During the weeks where he was not influenced by anything, he was just there alone with his own mind, and that's what will change your life as well. You're scared that if you're doing nothing, then you're not productive, and that's wrong, because you're more productive by doing nothing than you are by scrolling or watching self-improvement videos. And it's harder to do nothing actually. So that's how you will realize that it is actually a delayed gratification activity, because sitting there watching endless self-improvement videos, it's much easier than doing nothing, because there is no stimulation in doing nothing. It's just you and your own thoughts. I'm not going to keep you watching longer because you need to start doing nothing, and you shouldn't be scared of it. After you've watched this video, go and do nothing, and you're clearly interested in other self-improvement videos, so just go down and click the subscribe button. It's a win-win for me and you. I get to teach you concepts like these, and you get the knowledge. And remember to put one foot in front of the other.